This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities.
Good morning and welcome to this week's edition of Business, Equity, and Opportunities. I'm Scott Sander. The show is part of a commitment from our parent company, Circle City Broadcasting, to diversity, equity, and inclusion. Each week our show provides tools that entrepreneurs and business owners can use to start and run a successful small business. We highlight business and community leaders and bring in experts who share their collective experiences with you to encourage your development and to give you some knowledge you'll need to see your business dreams become reality. Each of the show's 7 segments are designed to cover the important topics that a small business owner may encounter at some point. You can see the show every Sunday here on Wish TV, 10 o'clock in the morning, or watch it live streaming on wishtv.com. And all of our content is available to share on demand anytime at BE&O.show.com. That site keeps growing each month and each day with more resources and information. When you visit that, be sure to sign up for our newsletter. It's updated every Tuesday. And check out the BE&O podcast. Listen and subscribe. It is a great way to take us with you on the go. Now that you know how to find us, here's what's coming up on today's Business, Equity, and Opportunities. We get tips on how to access capital from one of the area's top financial advisors. Find out how an innovative new technology company is reaching out to support other local businesses during November's Neighborhood Toy Store Month and Small Business Saturday. And we visit the world's first sustainable, plug-and-play aquaculture shrimp farm at its U.S. headquarters right here in Indiana. Big show today, so let's get right to it with our Getting Started segment. This segment shares resources and insights from some of the best in business to help you get your business off to a great start. This week, we meet one of the top managers in construction. She gives us insights for getting started in the industry.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Getting Started.
Akilah Darden is the president and founder of the Darden Group. She teaches a master class in construction. Her skills and insights, though, are only part of the reason she's the director of Design and Construction, Diversity and Inclusion for IU Health's new construction projects.
So I'm DC or East Coast girl, born and raised in the DC metro area. I was trying to shatter the glass ceiling and be an operations executive on the East Coast. I got an opportunity to come to Indianapolis to be an operation executive for a few general contractors. And at that time, in 2019, the disparity study came out for the city, and it was just barriers and lack of opportunities for diverse businesses in construction. And I was like, okay, I have all these complex projects that I've been able to do successfully and grow teams. Why don't I just step out there and just be an advocate for diverse businesses and find out what the needs are and be able to find the solution. So I started the Darden Group in January 2020, specifically to be at the table and bring diversity in. And on the same side, what are the skill sets do they need to be successful once they got the opportunity? Because you only have one shot and you have to be exceptional, not just average. So I started the Darden Group with that mission. And in talking to subcontractors and trying to gain opportunities, there were a few things that they needed, which was project management, how to be efficient and effective, learning about cost versus budget. I don't talk about performance statements and balance sheets. What I talk about is money. If you have a budget and you have a cost, you can't exceed the budget, right? So line items for everything, and that rolled into estimating and training and estimating. And then it was communication. Sometimes you get to the table, but if you don't know how to effectively communicate your skill set, your expertise, and your exposure, you're not going to get an opportunity to even bid work. And then when you get the bid, how do you estimate efficiently to be the lowest bidder to get the opportunity? And then how do you manage your time and scheduling to be able to stay at the table, finish the project, and also grow by getting additional contracts? So I started an online course, Construction Management Masterclass, to teach all those things in 2.5 hours. And I also received accreditation from the Construction Management Association of America. Then I also had, I do a lot of mentoring with students in high school. I'm also president of the board of directors for ACE Mentoring Program. Since 2006, I've been involved. I'm on my second term as president here. and I found out that a lot of kids don't know about construction, that there's a management portion and a trades portion. So why not create a children's book? I heard my kids talking to their friends about my mom is in construction and they didn't believe it. So I'm like, we're gonna create a book. So inspired by my 4 kids, we have a book called My Mom is a Construction Manager. What they see is what they'll be. That was a barrier. Let's solve the problem. Let's go through my life in a children's narrative. We also have a plushie as well. So you can follow the plushie on TikTok to all the construction sites. And then we do an Instagram live. Like, I can talk to you all day about being an electrician or a steam fitter. We say tin knocker, but sheet metal, HVAC. But until you see it in the field and how people are getting it done and talking to those individuals of how you got started, where are you today, then that broke away the barrier of the scariness of construction. So with those 3 facets, I'm just solving problems one at a time. And the main point is just exposure and taking the time to train. Let's talk about the country. So we have the infrastructure bill that's coming out of the White House. We have all this construction going on just in Indiana. We're competing for talent across the country. What people don't realize is now's the time to get into trades. It's about you're making 3 times as much as you did in 2018. We are changing socioeconomics with not only individuals, but their families, because you have a trade and a skill set, like plumber. You know, you can go back home and fix the plumbing in your house. You can fix your family's plumbing. You can even have your own business on the side doing community plumbing for your community, as well as building up the community. So it's not just about your profession, but you can actually go in and help your neighbors with that trade. Not only that, it's a skill set. It's changing socioeconomics. We need to get away from the perception that construction is not something that is a game changer financially, and it is. So what I do is, don't listen to me. You have to trust but verify. Let's interview some people that have put their kids through college because of the trades. They don't have debt from college, so as soon as they graduated from high school, they were making money. They were getting paid to learn a trade. They were getting the classwork necessary to be successful in the trade and getting paid. I don't know too many industries that will pay you and train you at the same time and that you can go home and implement later on. A lot of people discount it because of the perception of construction. So I talk about construction as much as I can because there's a management piece. And if you're a gamer, if people like gaming and electronics, you can actually run construction equipment by using like joysticks, and you can get paid hundreds of dollars an hour because it's expensive equipment and it's very important, whether it's a concrete pump truck or if you're leveling concrete. We have a $4 million piece of machinery that you're going just to level the concrete slabs on the construction site. We're trying to get people in drones, because we need drones. There's also 4D scheduling, where you take a schedule, you put a drone to it, and you can see how the building, and even BIM, that's building information modeling, which is 3D software. So you could take the schedule and you can create the building 3D and show the owner, like, in a year, this is what it's gonna look like. In 2 years, this is what it's gonna look like. You can even walk through the building 3D. And then we have the drone that takes the progress photos.
Do you think we've gotten past the gender bias with the trades?
Ask me that in 20 years. We have not. But what I'm trying to show, especially women, and especially men who discount women, is that we're multitaskers. We're problem solvers, and we can handle conflict. So I can go and handle a conflict between a coordination between a light fixture and a sprinkler, then drop down and work on concrete and rebar, and then go up to the roof and work on waterproofing issues all within the hour, while calling up or talking to the nurse at my kids' school. So I have 4 kids, and construction is the easy part. But we are just able to multitask, and we don't take things so personally. But yes, we still have it because, again, you have to see it to believe it and trust it. So as much as I can talk about what I've done, how I've done it, and how I'm bringing up other women, it's going to take more than me that's exceptional at what we do to be able to change the gender bias. It's not there yet. As far as tradespersons, let me tell you, the women always get the best jobs, and we have humanized the construction industry. So you have your own bathrooms now, and we have hot water in the field. So it's more conducive for women, more so now than it used to be. But not only that, you can work your 8 hours, you can do overtime, we can adjust. With construction, we always have construction going on. So you can adjust your hours and schedules based upon your children and what they have going on. There's always opportunities, and there's always overtime.
If you want more information about the Darden Group and its projects, or any of our Getting Started segments, visit our website, beoshow.com. Do you have a great story you want us to follow up on? Please email us at beo@wishtv.com. We'd love to hear it.
Getting Started, made possible by the Indiana Economic Development Corporation.
Welcome back to Business Equity and Opportunities. If you are starting your own business or looking to expand an existing one, you're going to need money. And when you need money, your best friend may be your banker.
This is Business Equity and Opportunities. Access to capital.
Matthew B. Murphy III is president and CEO of Emboss Partners, Incorporated. He helps counsel businesses on the best ways to gain access to capital. And while acquiring the money is clearly important, he says what may be more important is relationship building.
One of the keys to what we do as an advisor and consultant is to emphasize the importance of relationships. The process of sourcing financial resources sounds scientific, and it sounds, of course, quantitative from an analysis standpoint, but a lot of it starts with having built relationships prior to when you need the money. So if businesses are looking to get started, or they've already gotten started and they're building toward growth, it's never too soon to reach out to financial providers like bankers. We have some tremendous banks in central Indiana and throughout the state, large and small, many of which support all of the different types of businesses, large and small. And to already have established a relationship with a financial institution and the bankers within those institutions, for example, is money well spent, money and time well spent. So that's one of the biggest pieces of advice I give, is that you really ought to find the relationship before you find the money. And that goes a long way, because people do business with people. And when you can establish that you are deserving and knowledgeable enough to be able to attract the capital and convey that you can pay it back and a return on that capital, that's a good formula. Business owners, entrepreneurs who launch businesses have 1,000 things on their agenda each day. And a lot of it has to do with running the business. A lot of it has to do with managing the processes and the people inside the business. Sometimes it's very difficult to carve out the time to network and to build relationships. But the piece of advice that I always come back to is, as an entrepreneur who is building a business, you actually have to build your team so that you can step away and do some of the soft skill things like relationship building. When you can walk outside your four walls and know that things are going to go each day the way they're supposed to, because you've got good managers, good directors, good employees. You've got to schedule some time for those things that will bring value to the company in the long run. And the relationship building and the networking piece is very, very valuable to that process.
If you'd like more ideas about how to access capital, visit us online, BE&O and while you're there, sign up for our newsletter for even more resources. Up next, This Week in Business, we meet the founder and CEO of a new tech company in Fishers with innovative ways for businesses to reach their clients. That and more when Business Equity and Opportunities return. You're watching Business Equity and Opportunities. Thanksgiving week is time to celebrate with family, but it also holds some of the busiest shopping days of the year, including Black Friday and Small Business Saturday. If you're shopping next Saturday, we encourage you to seek out local small businesses in our community. This week in business, we had the opportunity to catch up with a local company in Fishers that has some innovative new ideas to help small businesses and their customers communicate.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. This Week in Business.
John Wechsler is the founder and CEO of Spokenote, a new company that's come up with a way to add video to just about anything, and it's sharing that technology with neighborhood toy stores this Saturday.
Spokenote very simply gives you the ability to add video to anything. So the idea is you scan our code, you record a video, and then wherever you put our sticker, that video is playable. This was an idea that a friend of mine had from many years ago. His brother was serving in Afghanistan, and he would send care packages over, and he wanted to add a video into that care package. So along with a newspaper, a magazine, maybe some cookies made from home, he always wanted to include a video to say hello to his brother. And for years and years wasn't able to do it. Well, about a year and a half ago, he and I were together. My friend explained to me this concept, and I was really surprised, quite frankly, to find out this product didn't exist. And after some discussion, we decided to go ahead and start a company around it. We all have great ideas for a business, and it's the entrepreneur that actually takes that step to create a business around that can make a difference. And so we did the initial several months of early prototyping just in a skunkworks environment where we were hacking it together and trying to make it work. Later we went out and raised some initial angel funding, and that's what's enabled us to get to this point. A lot of it is getting the word out there. It's a network effect, essentially. So a lot of it boils down to making sure your friends and supporters know what you're trying to do. I have the benefit of having been in the tech industry for almost a lifetime, really, a career. And so a lot of it boiled down to going to my friends like David Becker and John Thompson and many others and asking them to get involved, and thankfully they decided to. It's really important to be part of our community, and it starts to me with owning local, right? We want to be part of our local community. So whether it's a coffee shop, a brew house, or a local retailer that we can have put our product on display, or if we can support them in some way, we love doing it. In this particular case, we're partnering with national specialty toy resellers, and we're looking at ways to bring our Christmas themed and holiday themed products into their shops for this Christmas season. We have these cards, and what we're doing is we're shipping these to all of the toy retailers, and then we also have these specialty tags. These are the traditional to and from tag that you'd put on a gift. We're shipping these to over 125 retailers in the Astra network, and we're giving them the ability to add video to their gifts that they're wrapping for their local customers. Authenticity is a big thing this day and age, so when you look at the local toy retailer and the specialty retailer and the local business in general, this is the lifeblood of every community. And so anything that we can do to support the local retailer and help build relationships between them and their customers, we think that's a big win. We think that the Spokenote tag is going to do that. So the way it works is what you do is you take the Spokenote tag, and so what you do is you scan this tag, and it pulls up a browser-based experience, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and click on record a video. And so what I do is click record, I give it access to my camera, and I say, hello, I'm here with Channel 8 showing Spokenote. There we go. And then what I do is I click use video, and what that's going to do is going to drop that video on this particular, it's going to pair it with this sticker so that the next time someone scans this sticker, that video plays. And it's that simple. So the video is uploaded now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and scan that code. So in less than a minute, we created a video, we published it, and now that video is shareable. So if you think about grandparents that might be in Naples or Scottsdale, or kids that are in Indianapolis with their parents somewhere else for Christmas, they can actually videotape their kids, send the gift to Grandma and Grandpa with a to from tag. Grandma and Grandpa get it and scan it, and we think that brings people closer together. Our vision is to create a utility for the creation and sharing of short video. So if you look at what we're doing today, it involves this sticker. We also, as mentioned, we have these cards that we do it with. We do it with other items. And so any place where you would need to add a video to maybe explain something, like if you're an Airbnb host and you want to show how a coffee machine works, or if you're an HVAC service technician and you want to show a new customer how to install the air filter on their new system. We think there are a lot of use cases for the creation and sharing of short video, and that's what we're aiming to build. For me personally, I can truly confess that I haven't worked a day in decades, right? And it truly is because this is my passion. I love helping people reach their highest and best use to reach their fullest potential. So whether it's me, or someone on our team, a new employee, or a customer, I love the idea of being able to help that individual reach their full potential. And so that's what we're doing with Spokenote as a company and as a product, and that brings me a ton of fulfillment.
Want to remind you, Saturday, November 26th is Small Business Saturday, so be sure to check out some of the many events going on in your own neighborhood. Accounting and bookkeeping are certainly among the more important parts of doing business, and they can be the most confusing. We share insights and advice from some of the experts on the topic.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities, Accounting and Bookkeeping.
Part of accounting and bookkeeping is managing your cash flow. It's also one of the reasons some find it so hard to get a new business off the ground.
The Bureau of Labor Statistics says that 20% of businesses started will fail in their first year. And one of the main reasons that's cited for that failure is lack of managing their cash, not keeping track of their cash flow. And a lot of business owners operate on a very lean budget, which makes it very important, even more so, to keep track, keep updated financial transactions, and keep track of your bookkeeping. So bookkeeping is recording your financial transactions and keeping them in an organized way so that you can pull reports. Makes it easy during tax time to have a handle on your expenses and your revenue. Keep track of your cash flow, and it's extremely important if you're going to apply for a loan.
The main thing that I try to start with on a new business is to make sure they've got their inflow, like their cash collections. How are they collecting from their customers? Are they collecting through credit cards? Are people paying them cash? Are they getting their payments in via ACH or automated clearinghouse? Are they, how are they collecting their money? And then their expenditures, how are they paying their bills? Through credit card? Are they going to use checks? Maybe they'll do automated clearinghouse or ACH payments to their businesses. It's good for me to establish that up front with a business to make sure that I'm guiding them on what they're going to need as far as their banking, their elementary banking of a checking account, and then what's attached to that, you know, whether they use a debit card or they'll get checks and they'll write checks. Online banking is very popular now with digital banking and mobile banking, and a lot of businesses are so digital that they don't even order checks anymore. They don't really need to write checks, but there still are a lot of businesses that use them.
If you're trying to borrow money from a bank and you don't have positive cash flow, you're probably not going to get a business loan from a bank. So cash flow, it's measurable, and they would like to see it repeatable and sustainable for as long as the money is out the door. Because bankers not only want their money returned, but they want a return on their money, which is the interest rate. So the fourth C would be collateral. Does the business have sufficient collateral to give the bank a secondary source of repayment if the first source of repayment, cash flow, fails?
If you'd like to know more about this segment or any of today's features, please visit our website. It's beoshow.com. You can access our previous segments, find new resources, and upcoming business events, all designed to help you on your path to small business success. Also, be sure to sign up for our BE&O newsletter to find out more about business resources in our community. Still to come on business equity and opportunities, rules that, as an employer, you need to know about if you have a nursing mom on your staff, or you might. We get the facts from the U.S. Department of Labor when we return. You're watching Business Equity and Opportunity. Welcome back to Business Equity and Opportunities and running your business day to day. If you have or could someday have a nursing mom on your staff, are you aware of what you're required to provide under federal law? We sort out the facts.
This is Business Equity and Opportunities, running your business day to day.
Lacey Houle is the Community Outreach and Resource Planning Specialist for the United States Department of Labor. She joins us today to talk about what small business owners need to know about break time for nursing moms.
So the requirements for nursing mothers is that a covered employer will need to provide reasonable break time for the nursing mother, and that could be up to 1 year after the birth of the child for her to express milk. The employer also has to have a place for the mother to express milk and other than a bathroom. So that could be, it also has to be shielded or free from intrusion from coworkers or from the public. We encourage employers to obviously provide a space for the nursing mother. In fact, we've seen employers, try to make reasonable accommodations for their employees, even in industries where you think it might be difficult. So, like your city bus drivers, for example, they're out driving. That's where they're spending most of their time, is in a bus, right? So they provide them an opportunity, or employers are working hard to provide those accommodations for employers. The break time for nursing mothers under the FLSA will apply to employers or to employees that would be non-exempt employees from overtime, so they would be due overtime. And we also have an undue hardship exemption. So if you have any employers that have fewer than 50 employees, it doesn't automatically exempt you, but you could qualify for that exemption if offering break time for nursing mothers or that break time for a nursing mother. If that's going to cause undue hardship for your business, then we would take that exemption obviously into consideration. So if we were to get contacted by a complainant or an employee that has is working for an employer that has less than 50 employees, obviously our agency will to go in and look at the facts to see and determine if there really is some undue hardship there for the employer. So employers are not required to compensate employees when they need to take the break to express milk. However, if the employer is already providing paid breaks to employees and the employee or the nursing mother decides to express milk during one of those paid breaks, then obviously the employer will still need to compensate the employee for that time, just like they would for the other employees. The frequency and the time of when an employer should provide breaks to the nursing mother, that's gonna vary. Obviously, we don't know, how long every mother is going to be different, and so as long as the employer is providing that reasonable break time for the employee, like I said, the frequency is going to change. So state law and federal law may have some differentiations there. So there are some states that provide unique laws specifically to break time for nursing mothers, and so obviously federal law is not going to preempt state law if the state law is going to provide greater protections for the employee. So obviously, you want to check with your state as well, because there are some states that are more strict than federal law. And you can go onto state website, or you can also go onto our website to find more information at www.dol.gov/WHD, or you can call our public phone line at 317-226-6801 for more information.
For more information about the resources available to you through the U.S. Department of Labor, visit our website at beoshow.com. There you'll find much more about this segment and all of our Running Your Business day-to-day segments. Up next, Industry Focus. We pay a visit to the world's first sustainable plug-and-play aquaculture shrimp farm at its U.S. headquarters right here in Indiana. That's coming up when Business Equity and Opportunity returns.
Running Your Business, made possible by 1150 Academy.
Welcome back to Business Equity and Opportunities. For this week's Industry Focus, we meet the founder and CEO of a new kind of sustainable farming business that just started harvesting right here in Indianapolis.
This is Business Equity and Opportunities. Industry Focus.
Daniel Russick is the CEO of Atarayas, the world's first sustainable plug-and-play aquaculture shrimp farm. The company decided to open its U.S. headquarters in the heart of Indianapolis.
The question was, can we grow shrimp using our technology in cities? And the answer to that question is Shrimpbox, which is a plug-and-play, semi-autonomous farm that we manufacture them in Mexico, and we can put them here to work, in this case in landlocked Indianapolis. I think it boils down to we found amazing people here that cared a lot about the success of our business, and if we wanted to be in one place, I think it's better to be, because we are new, and by definition we would be new anywhere that we would pick in the United States. So the government of Indiana, the IEDC, and AgriNovus contacted us. They pitched the state. We decided to come here to check it out, and they treated us like rock stars. They were very, very, very nice with us, and they introduced us to business partners that now we are collaborating with. So it's been a great journey, and also everybody that we met that we meet here is really nice, and we have the same reaction that, oh, it's so good that you're doing this in our city. So we like that. So we see ourselves as a infrastructure business, so an infrastructure provider. So we are like in both ends of the value chain. We develop the technology, develop the infrastructure, develop all the supply chain, no? And the idea is we will empower farmers that will use this technology to grow shrimp, and if they need help with finding a market, we can buy the shrimp at a specific price, pre-established price, so that they don't need to worry about what price they would sell. But if they have their own market, they can use their own market. So then our goal is to support this network of farmers and creating a new, an updated version for our food system. So one thing that's very different than when I started with the business 11 years ago, it's so we're living in the same world. We're looking at the same data. Maybe some people are not particularly fond of this particular wording, but we all know that the food we are eating and the relationship we have with our food is not sane. Because the more we know about our food, the less we want to eat. And if you think about that, that is horrible. So why is this happening? Because we know the impact that is having on our own health and the impact that is having on our environment. So we agree, I think that there's more and more agreement that we need to change how things are done. And there's the list of dead zones in the ocean are just increasing. So it's a bleak picture in that regard. But there's people that are starting to finding answers that have many different shapes and colors. So I like that. And this is also like plant-based protein, cultured, like lab-grown meat. So that is good. Here we're doing it. Basically, we're creating whole protein, whole shrimp, and we like that because this is a product that our body knows exactly what to do with. No, we are not using any kind of chemical. We are not using any flavors, any preservatives. No, nothing. We think that the way that we see the problems with our food system, it's the tools that we use only relying on chemistry and mechanics. We don't think it's enough. So here we are using biology. I think biology is a more powerful tool than chemistry, because biology, so chemistry, you see an innovation project where you have engineers that are working for 2 years, 5 years, project makes sense, 10 years, 20 years, it's too much. So, and the amount, so the variable, the number of variables that as an innovation team you can work with, it's limited. Biology doesn't have those kinds of limits, no? It has millions of years to create, to design specific answers to a challenge. Everything that we see in nature, it's an answer to a challenge. So what we did here is that we put the framework, so the challenge that we're facing here, it's nitrogen. So the nitrogen cycle. So we are aware about the hydrogen cycle, no? That's the rain and the lakes and then the blah. And then we are now aware about the carbon cycle, no? And the carbon dioxide that is increasing. So we also need to think about the nitrogen cycle. The nitrogen cycle is why you have runoffs from fertilizers that go into the ocean, that create dead zones. So we need to be aware of that. So here what we are, and every time you're talking about making protein, this can be animal-based or protein or plant-based protein, you need to think about the nitrogen, where it goes to. And here what we're doing is that we're recycling the nitrogen. How? Using microbial communities that have evolved for millions of years, and they are specifically designed or evolved to work with this nitrogen. So I think that's one part of the food system that needs to be updated. I think that the second part is how opaque and how hidden our food production is from consumer side. That it's what creates this gap in terms of trust. So here we have an unconditional open door policy. Anybody that wants to come here just needs to send a message to our Instagram or website, and we will host them here. And we will show everything. They will see that we don't have any antibiotics. They will see, they can talk to the people, they can ask how they are treated. And I think that that's important in order to build trust again. And I think that the third layer that we need to update in terms of our food system is that we need to not only optimize for efficiency. Efficiency is good, but we also need to optimize. Here in this case, for instance, we grow here 100 times more shrimp per square meter, probably up to 200 per square meter than what a shrimp farm in Sonora, Mexico does. No, so efficiency is important, but also we need to optimize for other things. For instance, nutrition, environmental impact, and I think that the whole experience of how we relate to our food, so we can break away from this neurotic cycle of feeling guilty about eating, which is not good. I think that one thing, because here we are proposing creating a new industry. So 95% of the shrimp that comes to America, that is consumed in America, comes from abroad. And it might be 3 years, 5 years frozen. And the quality of that product is not good. And the sustainability and the backstory, it's even worse. So we are creating a new industry, creating economic opportunities, including people that Maybe they are farmers that they want to diversify their income stream. Maybe they are seafood distributors that have a channel. Maybe they're just curious people that want to learn something new. We can train them within 30 hours of training is what they need in order to do something like this. And what we're creating together, it's an industry based on the substitution of a poor quality product with an inspiring and nutritional and sustainable product.
Coming up next on Business Equity and Opportunities, David Watkins joins us. He's a leader in the Indiana Economic Development Corporation. He shares some of the successes that IEDC is having helping entrepreneurs here in Indiana. Stay with him. Welcome back. You're watching Business Equity and Opportunities. The Indiana Economic Development Corporation was created to help businesses in Indiana grow and bring new businesses to our communities. The agency aims to help make small business dreams come true every day.
This is Business Equity and Opportunities Success Story.
David Watkins is the Vice President of Small Business for the Indiana Economic Development Corporation. He is charged with helping thousands of entrepreneurs and small businesses across the state.
The IEDC is always engaged in outreach and assistance towards entrepreneurs and small businesses. And we primarily do that through the Small Business Development Center program, which has offices across the state helping entrepreneurs every day of the week. And over the course of time, we had a significant number of those entrepreneurs who were from a minority, ethnic or racial minority background that really needed some specialized assistance in areas such as certification, contracting and supply chain opportunities, access to capital, growth opportunities. And so when the opportunity came up at the federal level from the Minority Business Development Agency to secure additional funds to support minority-owned businesses in the state of Indiana, the IEDC obviously jumped at that opportunity. We worked with our partners in the governor's office. We put together a proposal way back, it seems a while ago, May-June timeframe, and just found out a couple weeks ago that we were successful. We had some good conversations in between that made us think that we were on the right path and that the state would be an awardee. But obviously it was great to be recognized and to get the official notification that we had been awarded a minority business center for the state of Indiana, and we're excited to get started on implementing the proposal that we put together. Helping our minority-owned businesses identify additional opportunities to grow their business, whether that be through contracting or international trade or getting in a corporate supply chain, capacity building, access to capital, making sure that they have the resources and the education that they need to actually grow their business, to take advantage of those opportunities, and then resource navigation. One of the things that we're constantly stressing is that there are a lot of resources and partners and people to refer to, but sometimes you need a person to help guide you in the right direction and say, actually, you should go talk to this person now, and this entity has this program going on. So the plan is that we will have more support for minority-owned businesses than we did, even just a few weeks ago. And we couldn't do that without the help of the partners that came together as part of the proposal. And it was a tight window, and we had a lot of people get on board really quickly. We actually had a report that we commissioned and participated in earlier this year from Startup Genome that ranked our entrepreneurial ecosystem in the top 40 globally. And one of our key strengths that stood out across global entrepreneurial ecosystems was local connectedness. Local connectedness essentially means how many phone calls does it take you to get to the person that you need to talk to. And across the state, actually. It's not just within our metro areas or exclusive to certain parts of the state. This is across the state. If there's somebody that you need to talk to that's in southern Indiana, but you're based up in northern Indiana, it's actually rather remarkable how quickly those connections can be made. And again, that goes back to the resource navigation side of what we're trying to do. is helping entrepreneurs, startups, small businesses navigate that ecosystem, which is important to being able to take advantage of the resources that are available. So entrepreneurship is part of the Secretary's 5E strategy. He's an entrepreneur himself. He understands this strategic focus area like no other. He's lived it. And so this all just kind of adds into this building momentum around the ecosystem of support we have here in the state that is globally recognized for its success. We're top 5 in the country in terms of survival of our startups beyond 1 year. So that to me says that we have a strong ecosystem of organizations and people and players and programs that come together when you start a business in Indiana to support you at a world-class level. So going forward, our strategy is to continue building a globally ranked ecosystem for entrepreneurship in the state of Indiana. And we can't do that certainly without supporting our minority entrepreneurs. That's the goal for us as an agency under the Secretary Chambers' leadership, to make sure that 5 years from now, perhaps even on a longer term, that 30 years from now, the businesses that we helped start today are the businesses that are major employers and highly successful 30 years from now. Who today will be the next Eli Lilly in 100 years? That's really how we're approaching the long-term game of supporting our entrepreneurs and small businesses.
That's business equity and opportunities for this week. But for more information about our show, visit BEOshow.com. There you'll find content from all the 7 topics we always do from all of our episodes. Whether you're just thinking about starting a business or about to do it, or you're deep in the thick of it, you'll find useful information there. Also subscribe to our BE&O podcast, part of the All Indiana Podcast Network. Sign up for our newsletter to get valuable updates, event information, and more. And if you have questions or you want to be part of our show, email us at beo@wishtv.com. And of course, join us here Sunday mornings, 10 o'clock on Wish TV, or live stream it on wishtv.com. I'm Scott Sander. Thanks for watching. And don't go anywhere. Countdown to Kickoff is next.
Business, Equity, and Opportunities was made possible by Indiana Economic Development Corporation and 1150 Academy.